This week, we're cruising with all things Tom Cruise. We're ranking our top three Cruise films, muppifying his movies, and getting Mike and Mike's employee picks. Welcome to the No More Late Fees podcast. I'm Danielle.
And I'm Jackie, and we're just two best friends and ex-Blockbuster employees rewatching some of the best and worst movies from the late 90s and early 2000s. In this bonus episode, we're welcoming back Mike and Mike from Mike and Mike Go to the Movies and The Complete Works. Hey guys.
Hey,
Welcome.
thank you for having us back again. This is what, the fourth time we've been on? Something like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
It feels like way more, doesn't it?
Sure, yeah. Feels like we're right at home. Yes.
Well, and
And
technically it'll be 5 movies.
Yes.
That's true.
Oh.
Yes. It's a double episode today.
It is. How are you guys doing?
Good.
We're alive.
We're still here in the year 2025. It's crazy. But we've made it.
Have any of you guys watched anything good that you'd like to mention recently?
Oh man, should I pull up my letterbox and see what I've been watching? I can tell you. So I've been helping out with the Montana Film Festival, and there's a movie coming out that I got to watch recently, a screener for, called The Mastermind, which is the new film from Kelly Reichardt, director of movies like Meek's Cutoff, Certain Women with Lily Gladstone. She directed Showing Up a couple years ago with Michelle Williams, which I really loved. But The Mastermind stars Josh O'Connor from Challengers, who takes place in the 70s. He's married to Alana Haim, and he is a guy who decides to pull off an art heist, and things go awry. And it's a really, really fantastic movie. I really loved that one. And so that's coming out in October. I'll put that on people's radars. It's really good.
Oh, nice.
Sounds cool. I watched recently Dangerous Animals, which is a shark movie. It's a horror movie that came out earlier in the year. It's on VOD now. And if you're a fan of like schlocky, gory shark movies, you sign up, buddy. Get in there. It stars Jai Courtney, who plays this like psycho shark boat captain, and he like kidnaps people and tortures them with the sharks and stuff. And it's insane. It's over the top. It's crazy. But if you're a freak like me, Dangerous Animals is a fun time.
I've been meaning to watch this for a little bit because Mike D talked it up on a recent Mike and Mike episode, and I was like, I got to check this out. We've always been like very anti Jai Courtney on the podcast, and suddenly Mike D's like done a 180 turn. He's a big Jai Courtney guy now.
Turns out, yeah, friend of the pod status, Jai Courtney.
I saw Fantastic Four.
Same.
I saw that
Hell
too.
yeah.
Yeah.
I saw it on Friday with David. When did you see it?
I saw it Saturday. I had to kill time before catching my flight back home. And so I just took myself to the movies.
Hell yeah.
All right, my good friends David and Maru went to Canada, and they literally came back, and David texted me and was like, how do we convince Maru, because we have a group chat, how do we convince Maru to go to see Fantastic Four or Superman? And I was like, didn't y'all just get back? So and she wrote in the group like, I don't want to see Fantastic Four. I want to see Superman, but I want to see Fantastic Four. So David and I went to see it, and I was really about to cuss out this lady because she brought a baby to the movies. I
Like
said,
an actual
"Here."
baby?
Well,
Like
it was an immersive experience because it's
It
about a
wasn't
baby.
Franklin?
It wasn't. It was a baby. And look, I know it's hard as a parent to be able to, like, I know there's a lot of conversation about making more third spaces accessible to families, and I get that. I'm on board with that, except movies. Like,
Yeah.
I paid money, and movies aren't cheap at all.
Mhm.
So if you're going now, it's like you see one movie that month if you're lucky. And yeah, I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's right, especially if your kid can't sit through the movie,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Like maybe they thought because it was a baby that they'd be quiet. Because when Serena was little, we went we went to see The Craft, or I Know What You Did Last Summer. She was a brand new baby, fresh out the womb, so she was quiet. Like she was sleeping, but this was like almost toddler, getting close to that level,
Uh,
and they were making all sorts of noises. If I wasn't lazy, I would have gotten up and told a general manager to give me my money back.
That's
And
The
I
level
safe
of
should have.
bet.
annoyance has to pass the threshold of laziness. That's
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
I
Every
know
time,
Alamo Draft House has like Tuesday afternoons, Tuesday matinees are kid friendly.
yeah.
Where
I have
like
heard,
the
yeah, some
lights
theaters do that.
are a little brighter and it's like you go in knowing that showing there will be
like
children
there's
there.
kids here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like that. Like I was thinking that I'm like they should have come to a matinee, but I get it. Like not everyone can do that. Not everyone can get a sitter, but yeah, I will fight that one to the death. Like because I just find it to be inconsiderate. You
Mhm.
are ruining someone else's experience.
Yeah,
So
I get that. I was recently, it was a couple months ago, I went to the Roxy in Missoula to go watch My Neighbor Totoro, which, is a kids movie. So, you expect going in, there's going to be
yeah.
kids. And it was the subtitle version, so it was in Japanese. So I really wasn't expecting that many kids, but there was one family there who thought they were going to watch the English version.
Oh
And
no.
they had like a 1-year-old with them, and they were like
Oh,
sitting across from me, but the 1-year-old was like transfixed. It didn't matter what they were
Hell yeah.
saying, just
oh,
locked in on the images happening on screen, like just quiet the entire time.
that's crazy.
Like
That's awesome.
I was like not paying attention to the movie because I was just staring at this kid being like, this is wild.
You're
Crazy.
experiencing magic right now.
Yes, exactly.
There is a movie I do want to see. We were very blessed to have Mahandra Delfino and Brenda Fair on the show. They were on my favorite show growing up or in high school. Someone said you shouldn't say growing up when you were in high school. Whatever, fuck you.
It's still part of it. Yeah.
Roswell. And they're in this movie together called Kill Me Again. Apparently, it's about like a serial killer who comes into this diner and is like, he starts killing, right?
Mhm,
Okay.
mhm.
And then it just keeps getting reset. And he's like having to kill these people over and over again. And he's tired. It's hot out there for a serial killer. So apparently the director is like an I don't know if he is a UFC fighter or something. Keith
Okay.
Jardine. Have you guys heard of him? I don't
That
Mm-mm.
know.
name slightly sounds familiar. I would have to look it up.
Yeah. So I'm interested to see that one because it's got Brendan and Mahandra in it. So
Nice.
just wanted to give them a shout out.
Keith Jardine is in Crank High Voltage, which is why I know that name.
Wow.
Oh,
And he's in John Wick. He's in a few like action movies like that. Probably
yeah, he
popping
looks
up
like
as
a
like,
pretty diesel dude.
Mhm.
yeah,
I
probably
wouldn't
just
fuck
popping
with
up as
him.
a henchman type thing. Yeah.
All right, Jackie, what's our game about?
So our game is called Cruisin', and we are going to rank our top 3 Tom Cruise movies,
This is tough.
especially when
Someone
you
doesn't like him.
can't stand Tom Cruise.
I will say this. I Look, I know the man is deranged. I know this.
That's not the
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
That's not.
Even us who are, fans of Tom Cruise as a screen presence, like he's deranged. He's
Yes.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's sort of what makes him a very compelling screen presence in a weird
Yeah.
way.
But I think he's a really good actor. Now, has
Yeah.
he pigeonholed himself into certain genres so that you don't always see his range? Yes. You would say that he is kind of like, some people just one trick pony kind of thing, but I don't think he's a one trick pony. I just think that he really does love making action movies.
Yeah.
He's good at it. I think he loves movies too. You can always tell an
Mhm.
actor that enjoys the art of cinema. And a lot of what he did really, like a lot of people in Hollywood said that he saved the movie business during after COVID and stuff, that he was like so diligent about shooting the Mission Impossible movie and making sure that they stayed to whatever. I don't know what he was
Yeah.
like on the set. If he was like a horrible person, I don't know, but I know that a lot of people were like giving him props for keeping things going, keeping people in work, and he was really like that was important to him.
Yeah.
And I
Absolutely.
just think he's a good actor. And it sounds like I'm gushing over him, but I'm just giving the man his props. Crazy, yes.
Yes. And I think everyone's known he's crazy for decades now at this
Yeah.
point.
When was the
Yeah.
couch thing? Right? That was,
Yeah.
That was '05, and that almost like derailed the Tom Cruise career in a weird way. They like when they were making Mission Impossible 4 Ghost Protocol, that was like meant to be like a handoff. Like he wasn't going to be the star of these anymore. Like it's
Yeah.
your last time, we're passing it on to Jeremy Renner. And like halfway through production, Tom Cruise is like, nope,
Nah.
I'm sticking around.
And I
I'm
think
not
that-
fucking leaving. And then he climbed the tallest building in the world, and they're like, well, shit, you guys got to you get to be you get to keep making these movies. Fine.
I think that was like honestly a smart move because
Yeah.
I was talking about this with you, Jackie, I think on one of our episodes where Jeremy Renner, for some reason, was going to be the new man in town because
Yeah.
I remember they were trying to hand off the Mission Impossible movies to him.
Yep.
And also the Born Identity movies.
Yeah,
And
he
it
got
just
one.
like it did not take. It did
No,
not
it
it is
take.
chems.
Yes,
But-
and then even like he was one of the Avengers. He was positioned in that movie, and then he didn't get a solo movie. He eventually
Yeah.
got like a TV series on Disney Plus like 10 years later. But like,
And they won't give him a second one. He said that they wouldn't pay
they're
him.
not paying him now. Yeah,
Right.
What?
And let me tell you, Jeremy Renner's a good actor, but he ain't got the face card. Sorry, bruh.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to you. But
yeah.
you're
That
like,
said, we're both big fans of him in the 2 Mission Impossible movies he's in. He's a very fun supporting actor in those
yeah,
movies.
he's
Yeah.
really, really fun. But Tom Cruise, after them teeth were fixed, he's got the face card. I'm
Oh, baby.
sorry. Don't got the hype, but he got the face card.
He has
And
a
he is,
tooth
like-
in the middle of his face, and it bothers me every time I see him.
It is a can't unsee it thing.
Mhm.
Once-
Sure,
yeah.
absolutely. But he is like weirdly our most like enduring movie star, like somebody who's just been around since the 80s and has never like had like a brief lull in the mid 2000s while they were after the couch thing, but like has pretty much been around since then, which is a very difficult thing to do. And yeah, and it's weird. Like in the 2010s, you mentioned, Danielle, that like he kind of started just doing action movies, and I think that's kind of just what he enjoyed doing. And you do lose a little bit of that. He did have so much range, especially in the 90s. He does a lot of like really experimental stuff with a lot of different big name directors. But I think he's pivoted towards action now. I think at this point he's starting to pivot back into less action oriented stuff. I think now that he's hit 60 years old, he's being like, I can't keep punishing my body like this.
Yeah.
So the new Mission Impossible that came out this year was billed as The Final Reckoning, and it's supposedly, theoretically, it's the last one. The movie does kind of leave it open for like, if he wants to make one more, he can make
Yeah.
one more. But it was kind of built as like, this is pretty much like the finale of Tom Cruise as an action hero type deal.
Yeah. Well, you guys, anybody have their 3 yet?
Oh man, I don't know if I have, and they got to be in order. We're ranking them. Okay.
I will
Well-
say, out of his entire catalog, I just counted, I have seen 9 of his movies.
There you go, Jackie.
Okay. So what's your top 3 out of
3
that,
of
that
those are
1/3?
Mission Impossible. Yeah, so I have number 1 will be Interview with the Vampire.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
Number 2, Rain Man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
good
number
movie.
3, Maverick.
Top Gun 2. Yeah,
That was
rules.
good.
Saved the movie industry, sort of. Yeah.
It did.
In a weird way.
Oh, maybe that's what it was. Well, he was working on that and Mission Impossible, but yeah.
Yeah,
Both
he was
of
kind of
them.
filming them both. But yeah, Top
Yeah.
Gun Maverick was supposed to come out in like May of 2020, and then it kept getting pushed, and Paramount wanted to put it out on Paramount Plus.
And he
Uh,
said, fuck no. And
yeah.
I'm glad he did because the
Yes.
experience of watching
Mhm.
that on the screen, there is a difference. You cannot watch that on TV and
Absolutely.
have the same experience.
I saw it twice in theaters. I know Mike D saw it in Screen X, where
Yeah.
there was like 3 screens
It's,
at him
it's
at
3
once.
walls. It's
Oh,
crazy.
that's cool.
It was awesome. Yeah, and then I think the other thing was Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. The like budget for that was like $300 million or something, and it's because they delayed multiple times, and he paid for COVID shutdowns and like all this stuff. So like that budget ballooned, but he fronted it so that they could continue production, like you were talking about. So like yeah, saved jobs, and that's why that movie was insane. The budget is insane on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
All right. Anybody else have their 3?
I'll throw out a 3. I would
Okay.
so I'm gonna stick to non-Mission Impossibles.
Okay.
Although
Not even one, or not a
Okay.
single Mission Impossible.
I'm gonna leave Mike D with the Mission Impossible. I'm assuming he's gonna put one on his list. I'm gonna keep Mission Impossibles off my list, even though
Okay.
if we were counting them, they would probably take up all 3 slots.
Well, okay, yeah.
So I'm going to leave Mission Impossibles off my list. I'm also going to leave off another movie off my list, which would probably make the 3 because I am using that for like the employee picks in a little bit.
Okay.
Oh, foreshadowing.
I try to tie my employee picks in with the Mission Impossible
Nice.
movies also.
Gotcha.
So I'm going to say The Color of Money is a really terrific movie, a Martin Scorsese film that's a sequel to a movie from the 60s called The Hustler, which starred Paul Newman as a pool hall hustler. And so this is like, it's weirdly like the first like legacy sequel. Like it's a movie that takes place, it's made 25 years later. It's about like a new generation of pool hustler. This one is Tom Cruise. He's getting trained by Paul Newman, and it's really terrific.
I
And
had
it
no
was,
idea. I've never seen that movie.
it's really great. It's in this period of like Martin Scorsese's 80s where like he had, it was, I think it was kind of his only commercial hit during this time because he had like Raging Bull in 1980, which was a big like commercial critical hit, but then it was The King of Comedy, which rules but didn't get good reviews, and then After Hours, which also rules but didn't get good reviews. It's also like peak cocaine Scorsese, so that's kind of the energy that you're getting in this too. And he's trying to get the money together to make The Last Temptation of Christ, which is his next film, but The Color of Money was like his like commercial bet, and it's really fun. It's a really good time. So yeah, that's one of them. And then I'm gonna do Eyes Wide Shut, the Stanley Kubrick film. I'm not sure if that's been covered on your podcast yet. That's in the time
I
frame.
highly doubt we're ever doing that damn movie.
That sounds like Mike is requesting to come on for Eyes Wide Shut.
We'll do an Eyes Wide
Mike will
Shut.
be waiting a long time before we roll that dice.
It'll be the series finale of No More Ladies.
I distinctly remember my mom coming home from the theater after seeing Eyes Wide Shut, and she's like, "This is what killed the director, was shooting this movie."
Yeah, I mean it's a fascinating film. It is an erotic thriller that's really not that erotic, but it is, you know, it was Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman when they were still married, and they were filming this movie for like 3 years with Stanley Kubrick. And yeah, it is Kubrick's final film. It's an incredible experience. I just watched it for the first time like 2 years ago, and had been putting it off for a long time. So I had my like Stanley Kubrick phase when I was in high school, as many like young film nerds do. But when I'm in high school, I'm also living with my parents, and so it was very difficult to try to find like a time to watch Eyes Wide Shut when they weren't home. And so many years later, I finally caught up with it and really loved it. And then my other one would be Magnolia, Paul Thomas Anderson's Magnolia, which same year as Eyes Wide Shut too. And that's also, I think, one of Tom Cruise's best performances.
Gets the only, I don't know if he got nominated for an Oscar for 4th of July movie, whatever that one is. But I think he did get nominated for Magnolia. If it wasn't for an Oscar, it was for a Golden Globe.
Okay.
But that one does show off his acting chops for sure.
Yeah, he's great.
It is crazy he's never won an Oscar.
It is.
That is wild. And it's funny that they're finally adding like a stunts category at the
Yeah,
Oscars.
and now
but
he
it's,
can't
but it's
even get
after
it.
the Mission Impossibles
Yeah.
are supposed to be over.
So crazy.
Like he's got to like at least introduce the category when they finally bring it back
Yeah.
or something,
Yeah.
you know.
But I think it's not for the actors doing the stunts, it's for actual stunt people, right?
Yeah.
It would be for the stunt coordination, yeah. The stunt people who probably put it together. I don't know if he would go up on stage during the. I would bet he would be like, no, these guys. Like, I feel like he would not take the credit for it.
Yeah.
That's true.
But
Apparently, he's been nominated for Best Actor for Born on the 4th of July and Jerry Maguire, and then Best
Yeah, that makes
Supporting
sense.
Actor for Magnolia.
Okay. So
Okay.
yeah.
Cool, but yeah, hasn't happened yet. Hasn't won yet.
No.
I think he's starring in Alejandro Inarritu's next film, which I feel like could be like an Oscar play. He was the director of Birdman and The Revenant, and that could be a big like Oscar contender when that comes out next year, I
Ooh,
think. So
nice.
we'll see.
Get that Scientologist an Oscar.
Yeah.
Mike D, what you got?
Okay, I think probably number 1 is Mission Impossible Fallout. Which is,
That would be the one that I would put on there if I was going to put
Is that the
on,
newest
yeah.
one?
That's the
No.
6th one.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Surprising.
it's the best one.
Other than Mad Max Fury Road, I think it's the best action movie of the 2010s. It's incredible.
Nice.
Hot. Yeah, it's really great, and it's very weird. Like the plot of that movie is a big like culmination, wraps up a lot of stuff from the previous movies, has very big fight, like this is the final movie, you know, kind of thing. And then they were like, and what about 2 more? And so I think Dead Reckoning and Final Reckoning for me suffer a little bit because of that, but Fallout absolutely rules. It's very good. Oh man, number 2 is probably Collateral, the Michael Mann
That's a
film.
good one.
Yeah, that's a great one where he plays a hitman that comes to LA and pays Jamie Foxx a ton of money, who's a cab driver, to drive him around to all of his hits that he has to commit in one night, and it's awesome. It's so good.
Spoilers, that's the employee pick that's coming up later.
Oh, interesting.
Oh.
Oh. Almost like we should do a podcast together, Mike. And then number 3 is Edge of Tomorrow. That movie rules.
That makes sense. Yeah.
I know I'm gonna love that movie, but I've never seen it.
Wow.
It's crazy. I know.
It's great. It's an action movie Groundhog Day. It's a good time.
Pretty much, yeah.
All
Emily
right.
Blunt, you were in there.
I do like
Ken
her.
loves that movie and he knows not to put it on when I'm home. So like I go out of town, he's like, I watched that movie like 3 times while you're gone. I'm like, good for you.
Well, number 1 is Interview with the Vampire for me.
Mm-mm.
I feel as if, for some reason, that movie is the most authentic version of Tom Cruise I've ever seen in a movie. Like, I feel like that is the closest character to him.
That's
And I
what real
don't
life
mean
him.
I don't mean it as shade, but it just
Sure.
felt like he was the most comfortable in that role.
As a vampire, yeah, that makes sense.
So I'm just gonna leave that where it is. Number 2 is Jerry Maguire for me. I know that he was toxic as fuck in that movie. I don't fucking care. Love it to death.
Yeah. I watched that for the first time relatively recently. It holds up. It's great. And it's really good.
It does, and he's
Yeah.
he's so good in that one. And number 3, surprising to all of you, I'm sure, will be Night and Day. I love that movie, and nobody gives it any credit. I think him and Cameron Diaz are so much fun in that movie.
I've never seen that, but I hear all the time that that's like from the forgotten phase of his career, and people are like, the people should go back. We should reclaim this movie, basically.
Yes,
So-
it's so fun.
I
It's
saw
like-
it like when it came out and I didn't like it that much, but I have wondered if I went back if I would like it more.
I just
You're
feel
more
like
enlightened
it's
now.
Ethan Hunt
Exactly.
on vacation.
That's the thing. It's playing so much on the Mission Impossible image,
Yeah.
which I think I would enjoy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like, look, it's not Oscar worthy. I could have picked a million other movies, all of his action movies I love. Even Reacher I like.
I think the first Jack Reacher rocks.
Yeah,
Is
the
really,
TV
really
show's
good.
so much better
Oh my
though.
God,
Like
I love
honestly,
the TV show. Yeah.
Mike D's a big Reacher guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Big Reacher guy.
Me too, Mike. Me and my mom love watching that TV show.
Hell
So
yeah.
that's my picks.
Nice.
Very nice.
I think we were very varied in our selections, not much overlap.
No.
Yeah, I'm looking at like his IMDb, and I'm like, well, why didn't I pick Minority Report? Like, why?
Yeah,
didn't
I had that same. Like, oh,
Like,
War
oh,
of the Worlds.
shit.
That's pretty
Yeah.
underrated.
Like, oh, man.
Tropic Thunder. Come on.
He's one of our last movie stars, honestly. And because like when you do look at his rap sheet, it was hard to pick.
No, there's
Got a lot
too
of
many good
bangers.
movies here. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
You know what? I do forget about his 80s like movies, but they were solid.
Yeah, he's got Risky Business, Top Gun, which Top Gun 2 I think is way better than the first one. But yeah, you got Top Gun, you got The Outsiders in there also. Yeah.
Outsiders, that movie blows my mind how many people are in that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, question for all of us. If you can cast one Tom Cruise movie with Muppets in every role but his, which movie would you pick?
I've got a couple answers that are like not really real, but like I think Valkyrie would be very funny because it's just all Nazis, and that just sounds really like an awful mental image to me of the Muppets plotting to assassinate Adolf Hitler. But that's not real. That's not a real answer.
Sure.
But I just wanted
That's a
to
good
say
answer.
that because
That's
I think
funny.
that's really funny.
Mine, oh gosh, I think I would do Rock of Ages because I just feel
I was just
like
thinking that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it would be the funniest.
that would be fun. I might go back to Magnolia again. I think Magnolia, just because that's such a huge ensemble cast. You can
Yeah.
cast everybody. You know, you can see John C. Reilly as Fozzie Bear, and you can,
Yeah.
you can cast these other characters, and then Tom Cruise as himself as a very like intense, serious person. I think would be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Do you have one, Jackie?
I do. I
Okay.
want Interview with the Vampire, but hear me out.
Okay.
I want it stylized like Jason Segel's character does in Forgetting Sarah Marshall at the end of the movie.
the Dracula musical.
Yes.
Wow.
I want Interview with the Vampire as a musical produced by Peter Brander, whatever his name is, with Tom Cruise as the solo human role.
Yeah. It's a TV show now. They can do a musical episode, sure.
Right?
Can't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a precedent for a vampire TV show with a musical episode. I'm sure Interview with a Vampire can do.
Yeah.
100%. Mike?
What if oh man, this is tough. Few Good Men? That's also very funny, similar vibe. The
yes.
Outsiders?
That'd be
That's
good.
also
That'd be good.
That would be really good.
just
Good
what
answers,
ensemble cast is here?
everybody.
Love it.
Love it.
Well, it is time to rewind and press play on the Mike's employee picks. They're going to grab their blue polos and stock the Blockbuster shelves with their top 3 movie must-haves from 95 to 2005. So, my guess, it sounds like you were prepared, so we will start with you.
Yes, I am only prepared because Mike D reminded me to be prepared. He's like, you got to have your picks ready. And I was like, oh, yeah, that. So, yes, I got 3 picks, and I tried to tie them into Mission Impossible in some way. So my first one, which Mike D mentioned already, is Collateral. From 2004, which is directed by Michael Mann. And like Mike D said, Tom Cruise plays an assassin who hires Jamie Foxx to drive him around town. And Jamie Foxx kind of gets like involved in Tom Cruise's assassin hijinks. I think this movie's incredible. I think it's one of Michael Mann's best. Michael Mann also directed films like Heat and Ali. The Collateral, I think, was his first time shifting over to digital cinematography, and it's got a really distinctive look as a result of that, just that like circa 2004 era digital stuff. But also, it's just an incredible action movie, and I think it's a really different performance for Tom Cruise, where typically, even in like the non-action stuff, he's usually playing like a stand-up guy or like, a very intense good guy, a hero. And Collateral, he's playing a villain. And I think that's a really fun turn for him in that movie. So yeah, I'm throwing out Collateral because Tom Cruise is in that. I'm also going to mention 1998's Ronin, which stars Jean Reno, which is why he's in Mission Impossible. So I'm talking about Ronin. But Ronin is an action heist movie starring Robert De Niro, directed by John Frankenheimer, who was one of the great like action filmmakers of the 60s and 70s. He did The Manchurian Candidate, The Train, which me and Mike talked about a while back. He did a couple of Roy Scheider movies that we've covered on the podcast too.
Yep.
But yeah, Ronin is kind of like his last like masterpiece, just a really, really tense thriller with Robert De Niro in the streets of Paris. There's this car chase that happens in the middle of the movie that is just one of the best car chases like ever put to film. And Mike D recently rewatched it. And thumbs up, Mike. Good stuff.
Oh yeah. Big fan of Ronin. That movie is so good, and it's so fun to have Frankenheimer be like a supporting character on this season of Complete Works because he did all the bunch of Scheider movies.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, Ronin rules. And then my other one, which I'm hoping Mike D didn't actually use because we talked about it a little bit and he might have taken it, but I said it first, so now it's mine. Is Snake Eyes from 1998, which is the next movie that Brian De Palma directed after Mission Impossible. And this is a movie we actually covered on the podcast years ago because Nicolas Cage is the star of it. Nicolas Cage like plays a detective who is trying to investigate this like political assassination that's happening in Las Vegas, and it's happening in real time at this boxing arena. And so there's this incredible like 10-ish minute opening shot that's just Nicolas Cage like going through the boxing arena, meeting different people, talking to people, and it's just got so much energy and verve to it. It's so much fun. It's a really underrated Nicolas Cage performance. It's I think an underrated Brian De Palma movie. It rules. So Snake Eyes has a weird ending because it was a kind of like shot at the last minute, but otherwise it rocks. So yeah, those are my 3: Collateral, Ronin, and Snake Eyes.
Nice.
Love it.
Well, I didn't come up with any thematic things. So films.
Here are 3 movies that I watched the other day.
Yeah, here are 3 movies that I think are really cool that fall within the time frame. The first is Lone Star from 1996, written and directed by John Sayles, which is a movie that got put in the Criterion Collection, and that was sort of where I first heard about it. And I was like, we should watch this. And we did an episode on the podcast.
We did,
and it's this kind of crime thriller Texas town thing where Chris Cooper plays in the present day. It, of course, is a bunch of different time frames and stuff. Plays the son of Matthew McConaughey, who is a corrupt sheriff in this town, and now Chris Cooper is the current sheriff. And it's, kind of paying for the sins of the father kind of thing, unraveling a mystery. There's like a dug up murder victim, like human remains are found near the town, and it starts to unravel this whole thread. And it's really great and really intense and like politically and socially charged. If you're familiar with John Sayles' work, he usually includes that kind of stuff. So that's Lone Star, big discovery, big favorite this year that we watched. Remember how I mentioned I like schlocky, gross horror movies? So the next one is Event Horizon from 1997.
Has that been on the podcast yet? Because that should be, if we can guest on that, that'd be fun.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Put you down on that one.
Yes. Yeah, this is a space horror movie starring Sam Neill and Lawrence Fishburne and a ton of other people where they discover a distress signal or receive a distress beacon from this lost spaceship out by Saturn or some shit. I don't remember. And they go investigate it, and it turns out it's a scary haunted spaceship and gross stuff happens. So that movie rips. I got to see that in a theater. I was in LA last year in a theater with a Q&A from Paul W.S. Anderson, the director, following it. And that was just like peak, like, hell yeah, I'm living the dream. We're doing it. I'm in LA. It's happening. So that was awesome. Event Horizon. And then this last one actually does have a connection because I forgot that Brendan Gleeson plays a small but important role in Mission Impossible 2.
Right.
And he also plays a small but important role in 2002's 28 Days Later.
Nice.
There you go.
Yes. So I did do one. And yeah, I mean, this movie rules, of course, talking about early 2000s digital cinematography with Collateral. It's all coming together. We're doing it.
Yes.
And 28 Years Later, of course, just came out, and that is really great if you haven't gotten to see that yet. So
Yeah,
check
it
those
rips.
out. Those are my picks.
Nice. Love it. Why don't you guys tell everybody where they can find your podcast and find you on social?
Yeah, absolutely. So the podcast is available wherever podcasts are sold, which, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all the places. And Mike D is kind of Mike D's like in charge of our social now. He's just the one who runs it. So Mike D, you can talk about it.
Sure, yeah. Well, the main show is The Complete Works. Now we combined the feeds. Complete Works comes out every week. Every other week we have bonus episodes for Mike and Mike Go to the Movies, which is sort of our what we've been watching, new releases, just kind of whatever freeform stuff we want to talk about. You can follow us on Blue Sky. That's at Complete Works Pod, all spelled out. We used to have to hyphenate and shorten or abbreviate because Twitter had a character limit. Blue Sky doesn't. So it's at Complete Works Pod on Blue Sky. I am at MD Film Blog on Blue Sky and Letterboxd. And come check us out. Come hang out.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm M. Smith Film Blog on Twitter and Blue Sky, Mike Smith Film on Letterboxd, Radio Mike Sandwich on Instagram. For those who may be unfamiliar with our podcast, basically the premise is that we take an actor and every season we just watch every movie that they've ever made. And so past seasons have included Nicolas Cage, Jeff Goldblum, and Michelle Yeoh. This season has been Roy Scheider, who has an incredible run of movies in the 70s. And then after that, it really starts to trickle out. And we are in the trickling out phase of so it's been a lot of direct-to-video action movies from the mid-2000s in the last like 15 weeks of the podcast.
Yeah, where he's in two scenes and you're like, okay, this was rough.
Absolutely. We're currently talking about, we just recorded our episode on Dracula 2 Ascension, which is the direct-to-video sequel to Dracula 2000.
As it should.
Yes.
As it should. Would you guys ever do a season of Tom Cruise?
We've talked about that a little bit. I think it's definitely been brought up. I think that would be a fun season. I think he's just somebody who has been talked about a lot, and I'm sure there's probably some other podcast out there that has done it at this point. I would guess, right, Mike?
There's a ton of people who do movie podcasts in general. There's none with you two on it, though.
That's true. But I do like to, what we usually do, because we're gonna have to figure out a new season relatively soon. We're getting towards like. By the end of this year, we'll be done with Roy Scheider, I think is if our schedule pans out. And so we'll have to figure out a season 5, which is a daunting task every single time. But usually what we do, Mike D and I each have kind of like a running list of people that we would like to maybe like consider for the podcast. When it comes time to do a new season, we each pick 5 off of our list, and then we like whittle it down to 2 apiece. So we each have like 4. So we have 4 finalists total, and then we put it out there on Twitter, maybe Blue Sky this time around. And
if they have polls by then.
If they have polls by then, we'll
figure it out.
But we put it out there on social media and have the fans decide who will be the upcoming season. So we have a say in like the direction we kind of want the season to go in, but the finalists are ultimately chosen by the fans of the podcast. And so this year for the Roy Scheider season, it was a very tight race. Mike D was very insistent that it be somebody who's dead that we're covering this season.
Or retired.
Or retired. But it might be is getting a little overwhelmed by by the fact that we still have to cover every Nicolas Cage movie that comes out, every Jeff Goldblum movie that comes out, and every Michelle Yeoh movie that comes out, which always like breaks into the current season.
Yeah.
And
You
so
know who still makes a lot of movies? Nicolas Cage. So
Yeah.
exactly. So Mike D's 2 finalists for season 4, I think, were Roy Scheider and Walter Matthau.
yes.
And then my 2 finalists were Kirsten Dunst and Nicole Kidman. And I was shocked that Roy Scheider won out of those 4, but it happens.
Yeah.
And so
Here we are.
Yeah, that is
Yes.
surprising.
So yeah, but you can find the podcast anywhere. Just look up the Complete Works. You might look up the Complete Works : Roy Scheider or something, but we'll pop up. And yeah, it'd be great to have more listeners. And yeah, Mike Go to the Movies comes out as bonus episodes to that podcast, sometimes every other week, but sometimes more than that. You know, we post episodes pretty frequently.
Nice.
And if you guys want to follow us, if you haven't already, I don't know what's happening, but at no more late fees on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Threads, Blue Sky. And join us next week as we get ready to pop with Wedding Crashers.
Whoa.
Oh, nice. Just made the cutoff, 2005. Nice.
Yes. Every time I see Wedding Crashers, it's just the montage of naked women falling onto the bed. That's
Yep.
like seared into my brain. So
Yep.
That's funny because I forgot about that.
There's no way that movie holds up, right?
We're gonna have it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
That's going to be an interesting one. Yeah.
And as always, be kind and rewind.